So we got some movement in Congress related to Biden's new attempt to change the definition of firearms without using Congress. And I'm going to bring that to you because where there's smoke, there's fire. Guys and gals, welcome to Guns and Gadgets. This is where you're going to get Second Amendment news on a daily basis. I'd love to have you, so please consider subscribing down below and join this growing freedom family. Let's jump right into this one. What you're looking at is a press release from Senator Ted Cruz that came out today. And he says that he will introduce a Congressional Review Act joint resolution of disapproval, that's also known as a CRA, to prohibit President Biden's Department of Justice from implementing a new rule to expand firearms definitions. He was joined by Senators Lankford, Braun, and Lee. The Biden administration wants to institute a final rule redefining a firearm under federal law to not only mean a complete product, but also its individual parts, often included in a weapon parts kit. If implemented, this new rule would require gun kits and gun parts to be regulated as if they were fully functional firearms, meaning they wouldn't be able to be sold without a serial number or without the buyer having to undergo a background check. The new rule would also require those with federal firearms licenses to retain records permanently, in effect creating a national firearms registry. The current rule, which the Biden administration seeks to change, allows for the disposal of records after 20 years. Now, after announcing he's going to introduce this resolution, Senator Ted Cruz said, "For the past 2 years, we have seen crime rates skyrocket all across the country, aided by Democrats' soft-on-crime policies and left-wing district attorneys operating like progressive activists instead of law enforcement officers. Democrats would love nothing more than to shift the blame and stoke anti-gun sentiment and create a permanent national gun registry in the process. By introducing this resolution, we are pushing back. We want to stop the Biden administration from issuing the final rule expanding the definition of firearms and instituting a national gun registry. We want to stop the false narrative that links the rise in crime to ghost guns and firearms, and we want to protect law-abiding citizens who are exercising their Second Amendment rights." Now, Senator Lankford, who I just did the video on the bill he put in related to protecting pistol braces, he said this: "Crime is going up in far-left cities because of soft-on-crime policies. Biden's response is to clamp down on guns put together in a kit. Federal law already prohibits felons from owning or possessing any gun, including so-called ghost guns. This is another attempt by the Biden administration to strip law-abiding citizens of their Second Amendment rights instead of addressing the failed policies that have led to increased crime across the country. This act by the Biden administration is not going to solve rising crime rates. Senator Cruz and I are pushing to overturn this rule and will introduce a Congressional Review Act resolution to overturn it." And then Senator Lee added, "Congress was explicit in the Firearms Owners Protection Act that federal gun registries are prohibited. Nevertheless, the Biden administration and the ATF are determined to restrict Second Amendment rights. The Biden administration is willing to exceed legal authority, deliberately misinterpret the law, and ignore explicit prohibitions to enact its radical anti-gun agenda." Now, I also want to remind everybody about the No Registry Rights Act. I did the video on it when it dropped back in March, early March. I have it floating above, and that was a bill that Congressman Mike Cloud dropped. And that bill, if you don't remember, would looks to do three things. It would dismantle the ATF's database, it would restore privacy for gun owners, and it would reverse the groundwork that has already been laid for a national firearms registry. And that's a solid bill. There are not enough people supporting it right now, and that's where we need to get involved. There are 61 co-sponsors, and even Gun Owners of America says the same thing. They want people to get their congressmen and women behind Mike Cloud's bill because that will just dismantle the attempts at building this registry, even though the registry is already illegal. Now, in order for this CRA to be successful, the resolution that Ted Cruz is going to file, it has to pass through both parties, the House and the Senate, and it also requires the president to sign it. Now, going into November here with the midterms, it's very possible that they could, Republicans, they could take over power in both houses. It's probably going to happen. We're really, really close to it because of the way that the country's been burning to the ground for the last 2 years under the current administration. But it still needs a president's signature, and I don't think they're going to have the ability to do that. So that is why I wanted to remind you of the No Registry Rights Act, which is H.R. 6945. I'll have it linked down below so that you can share it and educate others, read it, know all about it. and get messages out to your congressmen and women, your senators, your representatives, and get them behind this. Why? Because should the Republicans take power in both houses, like is kind of being projected, well, if they get veto-proof majorities, then they can absolutely get this no Registry Rights Act passed. Let me know what you think down below. Thank you to GOA for being on top of this, the proposed rule, and everything that will follow. You're going to hear more from them on this. If you'd like to help support them, join Gun Owners of America. The link is in the description of every single video. I get nothing out of it. What you get as a viewer of the channel is a discount. Depending on what type of membership you take, you get a different discount. And I always ask for people to donate that right back to them, and then some if they can, because it's that busy time where we need to support those who support us. All right, guys and gals, thank you for your time. I appreciate each and every single one more than you know. Until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, and carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe, because that is why our founding fathers wrote out the Second Amendment. It is to defend us, ourselves, our community, and our country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Take care.